In this yard we just brought in some nukes. It's early in the morning, and we are going to set a nuke down beside every colony that doesn't have a nuke queen. As can be seen, some of these colonies have honey super on them and have not been being fed. I can see a queen excluder above the single lower deep box. The others have been fed to try to build. These colonies got nuked hard and they were pretty small. And what we're going to do is establish these nukes that are on the truck in that second story box over the lower colony with a double screen board. The lower colony in most cases will probably receive an excluder and a super, and then the upper box will be, of course, divided by a double screen board. The reason for that is we're about a month away from the sourwood in this location, and we want to take that opportunity to feed and grow that upper nuke. They're coming in averaging 4 to 5 frames of bees. Those nukes are pretty nice, brand new queen. And over the next month we should be able to blow them up into something that's, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 frames of bees at least, before combining with the lower colony. It'll at that time become a double deep again right before sourwood. We'll do that probably about 7 or 10 days out from the sourwood bloom beginning, and that timing should be just right. We don't need brood being produced beyond that time frame because the flow only lasts for 2 or 3 weeks. Any brood that is produced at the beginning of the sourwood flow will not benefit us as far as honey production goes. If those lower colonies are in good shape, which by now they should be with all this feed, we should have a single that could have anywhere from 7 to 9 frames of brood a month from now. And then if the nuke has 6, 7, 8 frames of brood, we're going to create a massive colony right before sourwood, and that's the goal here. It was pretty clear to us that these colonies were not going to make much spring honey, so we opted to go this route. We could have just requeened some of them with a caged queen, but this really works. We've been making nukes for a month now in anticipation of this, and some were established in different locations and then brought to where they're going to be used, in like what's happening in this case. And in other cases, those nukes were produced right on location over a double screen board over the colony that the nuke was pulled out of. And I'll talk about that also when we get to other yards. This really works. I'm going to try to make a video on this that makes sense. Basically, you're requeening a colony, you're doing swarm prevention, and you're creating a massive colony just ahead of the honey flow, all with the same procedure. This was a pole line virgin queen cell, and Selena has registered in the book where this was mated, so we know what it was mated with. Let's see, this came from, it was mated with pole line, so this is a pole line by pole line. And we will write that on the lid too. See, Selena did that on her lid. We're trying to keep track of all this. We want to see what we like. Got to be careful not to look for the blue dot because there isn't one. Oh, look at that. She's doing great. Our timing is perfect. This 5-frame nuke is going to turn into, gosh, it's going to be bigger than it needs to be beforehand, before time. We'll probably have to equalize the nukes over a double screen board in a couple of weeks to make sure some aren't getting too big too fast. Timing is really crucial. I don't want to combine them with the lower part of this colony too soon. I want the perfect effect. These pole lines are mixed colors, so there's no guarantee that this queen is dark or light. We've seen them both ways coming out of the same breeders. The breeders are open mated. And this thing's ready to go to town. It's already been hatching brood. Young bees, full of young bees. A little road noise. We're right next to Highway 441 in Otto, North Carolina. Lovely spot, lovely area. So interesting. This was also a laying worker. When we inspected these nukes last week, some of the duds had turned into laying worker, and we slipped one comb. There she is right there. We slipped the laying worker combs one at a time in some of the good nukes. I got 3 pins in my pocket. That's the one I want. Light blue. Dark blue works, but light blue is a lot easier to see. We're using dark blue on the lids so we can read our writing. The light blue kind of fades too soon. And that's not gonna wait a month. That's gonna blow up well before then. We'll figure it out. It's gonna, some will be equalized. My feelings are that all of them are gonna be ready before a month. So let's see, what is today's date? It's the 2nd of June. The sourwood generally averages starting around the 4th of July in this location, so that's a month. We want to combine 3 weeks out. It's going to be tricky. Some of these might be too big in 3 weeks, but we'll work with it. We can pull brood out or something. We'll work with it, so our timing for combining these tops and bottoms will be just about a week, maybe 10 days before the flow. We don't need both queens laying right up to the date of the flow starting. About a week ahead of time is a good time to stop one of them. The young bees that will be hatching from eggs laid at the beginning of the honey flow will not do us any good when it comes to honey production. I'd rather have less brood right at the beginning of the honey flow and not have both queens working. Selena, we have set ourselves up for a lot of work finding all these queens, but I think we can do it. You and John are getting pretty good at finding queens. I'll just sit by and watch.
And they're only in just that one box.
Well, there's 400 or 500 of them. I mean, that's a lot. Now, one thing I will do is I'm going to crack this lid. Oh, come over here. Okay. Let's show that right there. Crack that lid for an extra ventilation, extra entrance. As this thing grows and gets full sized, if all it has is that 2-inch little hole, we can have a swarming, absconding kind of problem. This little extra ventilation, that'll help us a lot. It's going to be interesting. John and Selena, I think they're starting to buy into this. They're starting to see the wisdom behind this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I do this with colonies that have swarmed a lot. If I run across a double deep colony that's full of cells, I'll split it in half with a double screen board. And if both halves make it, you can combine it later, and it just creates a massive colony.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Two queens making brood.
Yeah. Now another way, I should mention this, another way of dealing with these uppers, and we have some, like over at Jack's property, those are going to be ready weeks ahead of time. We may just pull the double screen board and put a queen excluder in there and let it ride as a double queen system up until the time it's time to kill the lower queen and combine.
Okay.
And that works too. Like, this box gets full of drawn comb and brood and bees, we could just put it over an excluder and that would keep it from absconding or swarming until we get around to combining it.
Yeah.
I've done that a lot in the past. When you occasionally see those 2 queen systems in my bee yards, that's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
The top nuke just got too big to, you know, combine too early, and we just put an excluder in there and let it ride for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I feel good about this yard. So far what I've seen, this is going to be a killer yard if we pull this off properly.
That's awesome.
We're going to be looking at a box full of brood on the bottom, a box fairly full of brood on the top, combined at the right time. The colonies won't get any stronger than that.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
John concurs.
Yeah, yeah.